Hello, everyone. Welcome to Patriots 3 Life, Liberty, Pursuit of Happiness. And here's your host, Tim, Firecracker, and our special guest, Sarah. And hopefully, we will be joined by Frank Tortorici. So, how you two doing?
Great.
Awesome.
Good to hear. So, just a quick reminder for everybody to like, share, and follow on Tim Holliday TV. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, Twitch TV, Rumble, and we're also going to be, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
We're
So
everywhere.
yeah, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and so on and so forth. So tonight we're going to be in this Q&A joined with Sarah, ways to break free from the matrix. So some of us had waken up before 9/11, some of us after. The thing that happened in 2020, which I like to call a plandemic. Wow, that woke up a lot of people. I mean, forget waking up, that shook us awake. Wouldn't you agree, Sarah?
Oh yeah, that was when I was able to step out of the matrix and see what was happening, and you can't go back once you do that.
Right. Yeah. Once you see something, it's hard to unsee it. That's
true.
Absolutely the truth. Goodness. So, Sarah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh boy, I have been working in medicine for a long time, 23 years. I'm a PA for 16 years, and I was kind of awakened to the crazy system of what we call America and the government and what's happening in the world. I would say probably 2017, 2018, but never really understood the depth of what was happening in the medical world. I worked night shift. I went in, I worked in trauma surgery, kept patients alive, went home in the morning, and never really understood or saw. No one ever questioned anything. I never got any pushback. Left that hospital job and went into urgent care in 2019. And shortly after, we all know what happened. And my first attempt at actually like refusing some sort of medical treatment was when I told them I was not going to take the flu vaccine in 2020. This was before the COVID vaccine was out, but COVID had been released. And I was shocked at what took place. I was told I'd be fired if I did it the following year.
Wow.
I was called out by my colleagues and coworkers and why are you doing this? And why you have to, just take the stupid shot, and
right.
It was crazy though. I was like, okay, so I was actually planning the following year. Okay, well, I know my job here is limited. And so that was my, I think maybe I was just complying, although I wasn't really realizing that I was complying. I just never questioned. And as soon as I pushed back, the curtain opened up for me on what was truly happening. And, the whole COVID thing was a total eye-opening experience for me. I didn't believe in it to begin with. And everything on the news was not reflecting what was happening, at least in my community. And then the shots rolled out and we kind of had a lull in COVID cases. Cause I mean, it was crazy. We'd have like 200 people lined up to get tested for COVID. I'm like, this is insane. It was wrapped around the urgent care block. I was like, gosh, not this again.
Dang.
It was nuts. And so as soon as the vaccines started rolling out, it really was for the medical providers first. And of course I refused it. So then I was a murderer and I was going to kill my patient. And how did I do this? It was awful. And as soon as the shots started rolling out, we started getting a pretty big spike in COVID cases again. So the shots roll out, all of a sudden we get this influx in COVID cases. And then we started, and really the urgent care, we were seeing like 120 people a day. And when the virus first broke out, we were down to like maybe 5 patients a day. It was crazy. And then all of a sudden we shot up and we shot up with all these really weird symptoms, people coming in like elderly starting periods and people with shortness of breath and weird rashes and all these crazy things. And I was the only one willing to ask if they just gotten the shot. Did you just get the COVID shot? And they were like, yeah, I did. And so I would come out of the room and I would tell my colleagues, like, I think this is a vaccine injury. And they were like, oh no, it's not. When did they get the vaccine? I'm like, 2 weeks ago. They're like, oh no, it's way past that. You know what I'm going?
Wow.
So I kept a journal, and every single, from seeing 5 patients a day to all of a sudden we're seeing
Right.
40, 50, 60 back up to 100 with really weird
Right.
symptoms. I'm like, something's not right.
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people who just got the shot, they're testing positive for COVID. So I truly think that there were different vials with different lot numbers that were going to cause different diseases. One is going to be cancer promoting, one is going to be autoimmune, one is going to be the virus itself, and so it was crazy. I, of course, was the first one to catch COVID in my clinic. So
Oh, God.
then,
Wow.
so then I was super shamed. Like, of course you did, because you didn't take the shot, and I took ivermectin, and a couple hours later I got better, and I just went, this is crazy. I don't know I don't even know what this drug is, but it worked for me. I'm going to start prescribing it for patients coming in. So I'm already the black sheep, right? I refused the flu vaccine. I refused the COVID vaccine. I catch COVID first. So I'm blacklisted anyways. And I start writing for ivermectin. And that was the point when hydroxychloroquine, we knew we couldn't write for that.
Yeah.
So I was flagged if I wrote for it in the EMR system. So I started writing for ivermectin, and I could send it to CVS. I could send it to Rite Aid. I could send it to Walgreens, Costco, and insurance would cover it. But I started getting calls like, are you sure you want this dose? Because it's much higher than what you would see for a parasitic infection.
Mm-hmm.
I was maybe able to write for maybe 15, 20 patients ivermectin. And then I got called in by my supervising physician, and she sat me down, and, I'm like, what do I do now? And she said, what's the deal with ivermectin? I said, well, for the first time ever, we're telling patients not to do anything and wait till they can't breathe to go to the ER, which is so stupid.
Right.
So I said, COVID, and it's what helped me. It's super safe, blah, blah, and she said, it's not FDA approved. And I said, yes, it is. It's been FDA approved for over 50 years. I'm using it off label, but the shot you want me to take, let's talk about FDA approved, because that's She did not like that answer. And so I quit. And the time of the shot, we had to show proof of vaccination within like 48 hours of when I got called in. And I wasn't going to do it anyways. I was going to go on a stress leave. And I just quit. I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. So I walked out, and I think that was the first time maybe that I actually bucked the system to see how bad it was. And it was bad. And I started realizing that in my head, I'm going, well, if these vaccines are bad, then let me go down the rabbit hole of all vaccines, because if this one's bad, they're all bad. And read some books, and I went, oh my gosh. And so I think that was probably the first time really that I challenged the system and saw what happened. And so I broke away and started treating COVID patients up and down California, and administering monoclonal antibodies, flew to different states, pulled patients out of the hospital, did everything I could to save lives. And it was like, and you do really feel like you're all by yourself. You really do. But that was part of the plan, right? Driving fear. And, and I would go to a patient's home, and they'd answer the door in their mask. And I'm like, why are you wearing a mask? They're like, well, we have COVID. I'm like, take your mask off. Like, what are you doing? It doesn't work. So the fear was so intense in people.
It was.
My gosh. And
well, I'm guilty. I wore a mask for a little while, and then I was riding my wheelchair next to a KFC. And when I smell that aroma of KFC, I'm like, what am I doing? And I just, about 2 or 3 weeks into this, lockdown situation. And so, to get in the stores, I'd cover my nose, the shirt thing, just to get past the door Nazis, and then, take my shirt down, and then I'd see, the nod of approval from certain people, and some of these people were medical professionals that were not wearing the masks. And then we'd hear over the intercoms at these stores, for those not wearing a mask.
I remember getting yelled at the grocery store because I didn't have a mask on, and some man goes, well, I could die if you don't have a mask on. I'm like, well, then you should have did Instacart. Why am I going to wear this thing? Because it's going to kill me, right?
Well, like the concept was, if you don't get your vaccine, you're putting other people at risk. Well, if your vaccine works so well, why do you care what I do? And how is me wearing a mask going to protect you? I would purposefully, because I hate CVS. I can call them out. CVS. I would wear my white coat into CVS with my stethoscope and no mask, and just they hated me.
Oh, they must have loved you there.
And this is like California CVS, so it's just it was crazy. I would walk backwards on the, you got the arrows, like follow the line this way, and I was like, no mask, and walk in the opposite. I was like, don't follow suit, like just pave your own path. So I think I didn't realize, I knew the world was corrupt.
Yeah.
And as soon as this happened, like, this is a spiritual battle. I mean, this is Satan and God battling it out, and I know what side I want to be on.
Yeah.
But it took that experience for me to realize that at the core of all of this is the medical industrial complex.
Right.
And and it's scary.
Big pharma people, maybe,
Yes.
Well, I heard a term a couple of years ago, and there's, these two words were put in a single sentence. It was legalese and medicalese. And that, just took me a step back to even open my eyes further when I heard those two words.
Yeah.
And that was just a real, I don't know, almost took my breath away for a second when I heard those two words, because they're almost hand in hand. When it comes to the corporations of America.
Yeah, they are not in it for our health.
Right.
The long-term data on the vaccination, there was none, right? Sarah, I mean, if you took it, it was at your own risk, literally, right?
Well, yes, but that was not what the push was, right? They were saying this will, it was, what we all were fed. It's going to stop the virus. It's going to stop the spread.
Oh,
if you get the vaccine, you don't have to wear a mask. It's not even a vaccine, right? It's a bioweapon. 100% is a bioweapon. And this is a whole monitoring system. It's got nanotech. It's got, this is leading us to the one world order for sure. But what they told you was complete lies. And it even the people that work there, like the president of Pfizer got on the stand. I can't remember what country, it was not America. And they asked that question, like, was this supposed to stop the spread? And the answer was, we didn't have time to test for that. So here they are destroying people's lives who didn't take the vaccine. You lose your job, you lose your pension, you lose your house, you lose all these things. You can't travel, you can't do anything.
Right.
And it was never even supposed to do what they told you it was supposed to do.
Right.
Right. That's scary.
Crazy.
That is so scary.
Well, for me, it just, is common sense, because there was not enough studies done on it. That's one of the main reasons I didn't take it. I just, used my own common sense. Was the 3-year trials, was the 5-year trials? I mean, even the 18-month for that matter. There's no, double-blind placebo trials, or nothing of that sort has been done. And come to learn that, this is true for a lot of vaccines.
All vaccines. Tim, all vaccines. There has never been a placebo-controlled trial on any of the vaccines that are out there. None.
That's scary. That is so scary.
So some of what's going on with me, I think it's vaccine injury related.
For sure.
And, a combination of a couple of other things possibly as well. So I'll not open up everything to the general audience. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Frank Tortorici joining us. Frank.
Hello, everybody.
Good to see you.
How are you guys?
Doing great. Doing great. So we're just covering some things that were happening in 2020, and I think Sarah covered a majority of it as we're just going over the. It wasn't.
What happened in 2020?
Right?
Nothing.
Oh, don't I wish I could wipe that from my memory?
Right. They tried to wipe out our economy. They tried to kill us all. I don't know what else. What else?
So, we're just talking about how none of the vaccines were placebo.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah,
that's sketch.
So, being that Frank just joined in, he might have a little story about that. Frank.
About the safe and effective products that we all have to take during childhood.
Right. Yeah, those.
Yeah.
They're so good for you.
Where do I start?
Anywhere.
Well, just, I'm vaccine injured. When I was 8 years old, I had three shots in one day and had instant seizures. And a week later, started having tics and was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. So 47 now, and something that I'm reminded of every couple of seconds of the day of what that stuff can do to people. And I'm fortunate enough that it was an immediate reaction. So it's like, it was quite obvious, but I really feel for the people that it's more of a silent progressive killer in their life where they did not have that immediate response. And it's, you go through your life thinking that there's something wrong with you, or
Right.
most people can't connect the dots until they've taken the time to go down the rabbit hole that all four of us have gone down to understand what that whole picture
Hmm.
looks like, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's pretty sketch. Tim had
Hmm.
the same kind of situation, right, Tim?
Yeah, I had a very similar situation. Yeah, I was probably about 6 years old.
Hmm.
When very similar, yeah, I developed a seizure condition. They called it the borderline case of epilepsy. Put me on adult forms of medication, at such a young age. Stuff
Right.
you shouldn't be taking until you're at least 12 years of age or older, as they suggest. But of course, they went against their own suggestions.
Mhm.
And yeah, so you eventually outgrew that, and then about a year after I outgrew that, there was a couple of other little events that happened, but I ended up starting to limp, and I didn't know why I was limping. And
Mm.
so eventually my mom took me to a doctor, and next thing I know, I'm seeing a bunch of neurologists for something completely different.
It's
And
not crazy.
in between then and now, I've seen hundreds of doctors and interns. And
Right.
you can imagine, there's probably twice, maybe three times the amount of nurses as well.
Hmm.
So it's been just a crazy medical journey I've been through. Um,
Mm.
and yeah, and then, wow, 15 years ago, almost to date, I lost a greater part of my eyesight. I have obtained atrophy of the optical nerves. So I'm, trying to unravel that as well. So
Mm.
there's
But
a
you're
lot
in a
that's happened.
wheelchair now because of it, right, Tim?
Yeah, so I've been using wheelchairs for 34 years, and I definitely
Wow.
prefer
Right.
manual wheelchairs versus power wheelchairs because you can't hop up curbs on a power wheelchair.
He gets a little crazy with it, you guys. You should
Oh
show one
yeah.
of your videos, Tim.
Well, I've been known to go over 40 miles per hour downhill on my wheelchair. Of
Yeah.
course, with a helmet, elbow pads, knee pads, and all of that
Like,
to prevent road skid.
But no COVID vaccine, right? But
No,
without your
no,
COVID vaccine.
never been tested. I mean, my last vaccine was in 2014, and that was the flu vaccine, and that was the worst I've ever been sick in my entire life.
Yeah.
Well, maybe second to worst. It was like Montezuma's revenge plus a bucket in my face.
Right, right, right. So Sarah, how come they banned the ivermectin and the hydrochloroquine or whatever it's called? Those two drugs. Those have both been tested and have tons of research, right?
oh yeah, and super safe.
And
I
they're
mean,
yeah,
yeah, ivermectin won the Nobel Prize
whatever it's called. Those two
in
drugs.
2015. So it's on the World Health Organization. Not that we care about the World Health Organization, but it's a vital
Yeah,
medication,
right.
right? So it's critical. It saves lives all over the world. The
Right.
reason why the government had to pay pharmacies, and they did, our government paid pharmacies to stop them from releasing these medications, is because the only way you can approve a vaccine under emergency use authorization is there cannot be anything out there that could potentially help with symptoms or treat whatever it is that the vaccine
Right.
is being promoted for. So if there was anything on the market or available that could decrease symptoms or even cure what they were wanting to put this emergency use authorization vaccine out there for, then by law,
Right.
they would not be able to do that. So they silenced doctors, they shamed people, they took licenses, they banned pharmacies from dispensing them. I mean, talk about, I mean, they did more to make ivermectin seem like a super dangerous drug than they've ever
Right.
done to stop the use of fentanyl in this country. I mean, if you think
Right.
about the billions of dollars used to silence this drug, and
Right.
it is the number one drug that I prescribe in my practice. Everybody gets ivermectin. You come to me, like, regardless, everyone gets ivermectin.
Here you
So
go.
yeah, I mean, it's I take it like it's a vitamin. I keep ivermectin in my system all the time, and it's so safe. But by law, they could not release that emergency use authorization. It's not a vaccine, right? It's a bioweapon, and
Right.
so that was why. And the FDA, it takes like one bad example of something and it sticks for life, right? So the FDA, which is totally against the law what they did, but they went out there and called it a horse dewormer, and everyone remembers their billboard that said, "You're not a horse, y'all. Don't take this," whatever.
Yep. Yep.
And the FDA is never allowed. They're overstepping their boundaries when they tell doctors
Right.
that they can't prescribe something. Their job is only to say that it's a safe medication. It's FDA approved for X, Y, or Z. Then doctors can use those, PAs can use those as off-label medications for something they see as beneficial. As long as you're not causing harm, it's not against the law.
Right.
But they gave it a bad name to the point that everyone read about it, and all of these people following marching orders were like, "Oh my gosh, you're peddling horse paste," and what,
I know.
And they were sued, and the FDA lost. And they had to pull that down, but they didn't have to go out there and announce anything and say, "We got to remove this because it was very removed after they were sued, but millions of lives were lost because patients couldn't fill prescription medications. I've been working for a long time, and never once have I ever been told by a pharmacy, "We're refusing to dispense this medication." And that's what they were doing.
Yeah, I heard a lot about that. I mean, good old government overreach. Yeah,
I know, right?
Let's give it up for them. Anyways, so ivermectin was prescribed for rosacea and treatment for lice. So some doctors were able to find a little workaround by using it as such cases. So thank goodness for them. That
but here's the trick with that too. As a treatment for lice or rosacea or whatever, it's a small dose. And for COVID, we needed to go higher. And a lot of these pharmacies quit carrying it even. So you couldn't even, not only would they refuse, but they like no longer had it in stock. I mean, I was friends with a compounding pharmacist, and she was making it for me. And then she told me, she's like, the pharmacy board came in and they'll pull my license if I make it again.
Wow.
And so that, I know doctors who lost their license over this. Doctors who lost their license for saying that the masks don't work. I mean, and it's all been proven true, right? That we know the masks don't work. We know the bioweapon wasn't protecting against anything. We know ivermectin treats COVID and flu and RSV and other things, and cancer. But it's crazy what they did, and they're going to do it again. So that was like their little testing ground. It's coming back, and it's going to be much worse. And I just pray that people understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, Frank said a little. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, ivermectin you can get at Tractor Supply, right? But it's in a very low dose. I've heard a lot of people say that in California, that you can pick that up at Tractor Supply. I don't know if that's true, but I thought I'd throw it out there, Sarah.
Yes, I don't promote any animal grade.
Right.
There's other things mixed in that aren't healthy for humans.
Okay.
It's really sad that people have to resort to that. It should actually
That's what they do.
Counter.
Right.
So I understand when patients are in dire need and they're dying, and your option is to go to the hospital and be killed or get horse paste. Like, I understand that's what we did. But you can find providers that can prescribe it from compounding pharmacies, which are the pharmacies that truly saved the day and saved thousands of my patients' lives. So you can get it in human form, in a capsule. So you don't have to do that. But I understand people are.
Okay.
But yeah.
But we can't get it online. We can't get it. It has to be.
I would not trust an online thing.
Okay. I just want you to tell us.
Amazon Pharmacy, and I'm like, you do not know. If you're getting it on Amazon Pharmacy, Pfizer's making it, and I don't trust anything Pfizer makes. So
okay, true.
I would not. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be putting things in their medication that I stay away from. So I use compounding pharmacies that third party tested, super safe. I don't trust anything that is government ran anymore.
Right, me neither.
So just a quick reminder, and I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the show, but this is intended for information only and not intended for medical advice.
So don't try to sue us.
Right. I did put that in the show description for everyone to read. So it's already there. So Frank said a little term earlier, overstood. So I want to play
Yeah.
a little clip that I saw regarding to a new show that they are putting out. So just to give a little bit of a prelude to this is they're talking about muscles and building muscles and the importance of that.
Age of 30, you lose of everything. So by the age of 40, you've lost 10% of your kidney function, 10% of your liver function, 10% of your muscle mass. So it's 1% per year after the age of 30 is kind of the
Textbook.
the method that we are taught.
Right. So in knowing that, hearing that right out of Sarah's mouth right now, don't you think it's a wise decision to focus on building muscle tissue? Because as we age, that's going to deteriorate as the hormones start diminishing. And I always use the analogy, the more quality muscle you build throughout those earlier years, it's literally like depositing money into a retirement account for as you get older. That's the way
Yes.
I try to train people to look at this. It's not about looking in the mirror and looking like a buff Greek god or a goddess. It's about this functionality as we age, right? Because let's face it, as we age, the muscle tissue deteriorates. So what do you think follows suit? If the muscle tissue is deteriorating, what happens to our bone density next?
Mm-hmm. It's valid.
So Frank, can you tell us a little bit more about the Overstood Human podcast?
Yeah, sure. The Overstood Human podcast is a show that Sarah and I have been doing now. We kicked it off January 7th, and it's really the show came together to kind of create. We want to create a platform where nothing is off the table to discuss.
I love
We
that.
just both felt that it's important, right? I mean, without dialogue, we die as a society, right? We need to continue to have dialogue, even if we can agree to disagree and have different viewpoints. But we're trying to bring all aspects to the table. Health, spirituality, faith, what's going on in the world, the matrix as we know it, understanding the system, and really just figuring out ways to. Unfortunately, we all have to be in this system to a certain degree. I mean, just the fact that we're on this device and streaming on social media apps right now means we're a part of this system, so there's only so much that you can detach from it. But the hope is that through enough dialogue of all of these important topics, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet with bringing on different types of guests, and that's really something that I'm looking forward to as well. But I just figured the more dialogue that we have, the clearer we can get as a collective in figuring out a way, as Jesus said, we're in this world, but how do we not be of it? And I think that's the ultimate key to our freedom in this craziness known as the Matrix. It's I mean, Sarah, you said it perfectly last night on our live. It's all a lie. Like everything we've been told is a lie, and it truly is. Like, I mean, everything. Like everything. So it's how do we unlearn together as a group? We're all at different phases in this journey of unlearning, but it's just so important to have again, I keep saying these are tribal times, and it's important to find your tribe in person and online, because the online tribes are also going to be your resources when the next one hits. And as Sarah said, it's going to happen again. It's not if, it's just when, and that's not being doom and gloom. It's not being an alarmist. It's just being alert, right? The longer,
being realistic.
I mean, once the blinders are off, and obviously all four of us can agree, like, you can't unsee this stuff anymore. So now it just becomes a matter of like, okay, how do I navigate this next one and the next one and next one? Who do I reach out to here for this? Who do I reach out to there for that? We all need to be resourceful. And that's, I think, in a nutshell, what the Overstood Human podcast means to me. And maybe Sarah can elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's actually, Frank and I met because of our stance and what we believe in. So when you feel like you're walking alone, God's going to bring into your life people that are going to team up with you, that are going to help you navigate. And so it's an honor to know Frank, and it's actually really quite fun. I think our goal too was just trying to awaken people to what's truly happening. And because it's scary. I mean,
it is.
It's once you learn that, you can't go back. There are other times that I wish like I was still walking around with my blinders on. Absolutely. Because the things that I know now, it's the world is, it not only is it's just it's horrific. God's in control though, and so having fear is not what I want to be doing. What any of us should be doing. But we're really kind of teaching people from the food industry, the vaccine industry, the government, politics, money, wealth, fame, whatever. Everything we are taught it's a lie. The world's a stage.
Yeah, it is.
AI has taken over.
For real.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if you see something, you're like, is that even real? And it's probably not. Just count on it not being real. But the moment you're born, you're given a birth certificate, you're given a social security card, you're now a system. You're in the system. You're owned by the government. They tap your foot, they get your DNA, they pull that out, it goes into a database. They shoot you up with vaccines at an hour old. They stick antibiotics in your eyes. You are now part of the system. You're a number, and they're going to find every single way they can to control you, to make money off of you. And it's a crazy world. So we're just trying to awaken people to that and give them tools to navigate this world with a little more, with their eyes open. Really.
We just got a comment. That's what cancer doctors do. Put fear into people.
Right. That's what they do.
Well, that's what all doctors do, right? I mean, not all. I should take that.
Well,
back,
a lot. Yeah.
The Western medicine world it's an indoctrination camp, just like everything else. You look at your textbook, McGraw-Hill. Who's McGraw-Hill? That's Ghislaine Maxwell's dad. Like, who owns the books? Who is teaching history?
Yeah.
They have they've rewritten history. Everything we're taught about different wars, about different times in history in the world, it's all lies, right? It takes a couple generations to change what the truth is and feed lies. I question everything. My kids think I'm nuts. They're like, what in the, I'm like, no, this is not. And when we die, we're going to, well, it's not going to matter. We're going to be with Jesus, but we're going to look back and realize that nothing that we believed was real.
I totally agree with Sarah. Totally agree.
Yeah.
They go, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I'm not. I'm just a logical, reasonable person looking at each side of everything I'm told, and I'm going to decide for myself. And if you want to come on the TV and tell me every day I'm going to die, then I'm just going to turn off that TV. I'm not watching it anymore. And I watched Frank go from being a kid that was having seizures to building up his muscle and being able to control this disease without all these other drugs and whatever. And he's done a great job, right?
Thank you.
So I'm going to learn to work out more.
Well, it's so crazy too. I love how the term conspiracy gets thrown around.
I know.
I've been bringing that up recently. Like, just imagine what a conversation would have looked like 7 years ago, and you telling somebody that, hey, in about the next 12 months, the world's going to shut down. You'll need a vaccine passport. You'll need a vaccine passport to go and to even get takeout food in a restaurant. You'll have to wear a mask 6 feet apart. There'll be arrows in the supermarket. You would have been like, you're nuts. That will never happen. You're nuts. So it's like, because we lived through that, it's a crime to be so naive and to think that like it couldn't possibly happen again. You know what I mean? Like to really just dismiss them. Oh, you crazy conspiracy. You lived through it now. How could it be a conspiracy?
Right. It's legit.
Yeah.
And like I said, SARS-7 came around. That's a form of COVID, right, Sarah? I mean, it was back in like 2007 or 2006. And my sister was in the hospital for like 3 weeks in the infectious disease ward. And they were trying to figure out what it was. I was in there every day. I didn't have anything on. I didn't get it. Somehow she got it. I didn't. So to tell us it's like a pandemic or a plandemic and everybody's going to die from it is ridiculous, right?
Right. Well, and you never know what they're showing. I mean, their whole, it was a well thought out plan. I mean, we had got to give them some
True.
kudos for that. So
Props.
they shut down everything, right?
Right.
Everyone
Mhm.
goes to their TVs. They've got the ticker on the TV showing all these deaths, just tick, 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 tick. They've got ambulances lined up in the streets and mortuaries and whatever. And New York was one of the places that we kind of saw this all play out. None of that was real. I mean, if you look back, you're like, this was all planned and staged. And you'll see some of the clips where, you know, the politicians are all chatting, whatever, and then they're going 3, 2, 1, and everyone puts on their mask and they're kind of, you know,
yeah,
like, you know, but we were naive and some people fell for it. Enough people fell for it that they were able to pull that kind of stuff off. If that was just
30%
said, I'm not doing this. 30% of doctors said, I'm not taking a vaccine. 30% of the people that worked in hospitals said, I'm not doing it. They wouldn't have been able to pull it off because they couldn't lose that much. But people did it. And I have so many patients that are struggling and suffering because of it. And I think it's only a matter of time that every person that got that vaccine is going to have something happen. And I don't, again, want to be an alarmist. I don't want to scare people. There's things you can do to try to negate it. Yeah. But they made this to cause mass destruction,
hysteria,
autoimmune, and depopulation. And
I agree.
And it's working.
Yes, it is. That's crazy.
So I'm seeing some things in the chat, and for instance, Cindy, she can't find ivermectin in Massachusetts. And I'm going to make a suggestion. I can't give medical advice because I'm not a doctor, so I'm just going to repeat that. Find yourself a functional health practitioner. I'll just put it that way, and let them choose what's best for you.
Yeah, what you can do, and I tell this to patients because my practice is full. It's crazy. Yeah. But call compounding pharmacies around you and ask them, are there any providers locally that prescribe ivermectin?
That's a good
one. If they're going to, and they may not, they may protect them. I don't know, but at least that can get you a door, because still functional medicine and integrative medicine providers, there's still this fear, if I write for ivermectin, I'm going to lose my license. And that state in particular might be one of them. So ask around to the compounding pharmacies, locally or around your neighborhood or whatever in your state. Like, can you give me some names of providers that were willing to refer, and let them know, like, I need a prescription. Several local compounding pharmacists around my area would steer patients to me knowing I was writing for it. Yeah. So they would refer patients to my office when patients would call them and say, do you know anyone that will, because pharmacists cannot write, they can't prescribe, they can dispense. And so they can't be the one private. So that's a good way to
so a compounding pharmacy is not your typical big box pharmacy, correct?
No, not your government run pharmacy. Yeah, compounding pharmacies are much different. They still have to follow all the same rules, but they're not being paid by the government to halt the dispensing of those meds.
Oh, okay. That's tough because you need it in a high enough dose, right? Sarah, you need a high enough dose, so you can't say it's for this, or this. You need it to be enough that it's going to work, right?
Yeah, and I honestly would never prescribe the commercially available ivermectin. It's a 3 milligram tablet, and I don't trust that there's not things put in there from Merck is the one that started it, but I don't trust that they're clean. So I trust my compounding pharmacies, and you can get them to compound basically any strength you want. So instead of popping like 15 3 milligram tablets, you can have them make one, you have them make a 45 milligram or a 30 milligram in one capsule. But I won't even send in a prescription for a 3 milligram commercially made ivermectin. I don't trust it.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Wow. Okay. So we just need to find a compounding pharmacy that will do it. Okay.
Yes.
And then
that will give you names of providers that were writing for it. Yeah.
All
That's a
right. So
very
as
good.
Firecracker's taking notes, everybody else taking notes.
Oh my God, I'm trying to like process all this really quickly so I can make a note like, okay, I need to find this, this, and this. Because my dad got the jab and he's older.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as soon as he got the jab, he got COVID.
Yeah.
His friends got COVID. All the older people got COVID. I didn't take the jab. I never got COVID, which is so bizarre. I was around all of them and I go, okay, so I can't undo them getting vaccinated. So how do I help them? What can I do now when they get this next round going, which I'm sure will be very soon?
They're
I don't
trying.
know if, yeah, I mean, I know somebody's making money off it. It's not us. None of the general public is making anything off of it, right? We're all losing money.
Yeah, I mean they're
Killing
destroying
everything.
the world.
Yeah, they're killing the economy. They're just wiping it out.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's really
So in
sad.
some discussions, we've had a conversation regarding screen time and how detrimental that can be. So I want to play a short clip regarding the use of the internet. So this is from the artist formerly known as Prince.
One thing I wanted to say is don't be fooled by the internet. It's cool. It's cool to get on the computer, but don't let the computer get on you. It's cool. It's cool to use the computer. Don't let the computer use you. You all saw The Matrix. There's a war going on. The battlefield's in the mind. And the prize is the soul. So just be careful. Be very careful. Thank you.
So when I first heard about the Overstood Human podcast, that's the first thing that came to mind because I saw that reel quite a few years ago. And Frank, let me know what your thoughts are on that clip that I just played.
Well, first of all, did you ever see the clip of him on the Tavis Smiley show talking about the chemtrails and voting? That's a great clip.
I didn't see that clip, but we were talking about chemtrails before this show started. So, yeah, go ahead, Frank.
Clip. No, I mean, I think the clip speaks for itself, right? It's where we're at. I mean, he was definitely ahead of his time in that sense to be saying that. I don't know what year that was, but I think he's been gone now for what, at least is it a decade already that he's gone? 8-9 years?
2018 or 2014? I forget when he passed.
Something like that, yeah.
Supposedly from pneumonia.
Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. All the people that speak out die of pneumonia. There's a trend there with that too. Yeah. That's a whole nother topic. But yeah, exactly, Adrian. I agree. Yeah. I mean, Prince, that's why he changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince. He was battling with the record labels.
Yes.
He because of the owning his masters. And then once he changed to his name, he was able to put music out under his new name, so that it no longer was owned by he called them the slave masters,
That's
the record label owners,
Yeah.
Same thing with Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but he was battling with Tommy Mottola, and I think like right towards the end of his life, he bought the Beatles catalog, and
that was smart.
Yeah, and there's his that one video of his They Don't Really Care About Us. That's an interesting video. If you look at all the symbolism in that video, he's telling a massive story in that video. It's pretty profound. But yeah, that clip is pretty self-explanatory, and there's again, I mean, the more we bring awareness to this, I think is key, because it's not stopping this integration of computers and human. Right. We're becoming more and more computer-like as a society when you think about it, especially the younger generation,
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, Tim, you and I were talking about that earlier today about the young kids on this. I just found out about this video game thing yesterday, Roblox. I'd never heard
Oh,
of
yeah.
it. And then when I
Yep.
went down the rabbit hole of that a little bit, I was like, oh my God. And I just can't believe there are parents that are allowing their children on that, you know, like,
Yep.
I mean, I
Right.
was looking at some videos online and there are kids like 5 years old, 7 years old, 9 years. I'm like,
Mhm.
forget
Yep.
all the crazy child stuff that goes on in there, but like to put a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old
Yeah.
brain in front of this, you
No.
know, this virtual reality, like what it's doing to the brain. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I know, I think it was in 2008, 2009 when I got my first smartphone.
Yeah.
And I noticed that right when I started with the smartphone, I started having sleep issues,
Yeah.
anxiety. I had trouble, like I had trouble like meditation and like prayer, just stilling my mind. So like
Mhm.
if that did that to my brain where it's fully developed, what are these poor kids that are
Mhm.
integrating
Yep.
with these machines? What's their, are they ever going to be able to even look you in the eye and have like just even a conversation for 30
Nope.
seconds without like bing, bing, bam? Like what's
Yeah.
that going to be like, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's an
So
overdose on dopamine in the brain.
dopamine, yeah. So
Yeah, so
that,
we
yeah,
get these
that clip,
symptoms of what we call attention deficit disorder, and the
yeah,
hyper ADHD and such.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
It's
that
true.
clip is just so profound. That's it.
And
I
then I've
mean,
actually
just,
seen some videos, where a parent's taking away a kid's tablet or phone, and the kid is just throwing a tantrum from
sure,
beyond
Yeah.
yeah,
because they want that dopamine, which
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
brain naturally produces. Every time you get
Yeah.
a like on Facebook, wow, there's a little shot of dopamine. Thank you.
Mhm. yeah,
It's true.
It's
yeah,
telling who, I've listened to interviews of people kind of in charge of making the iPhones, Apple, whatever.
Yeah.
And
Right.
a lot of them will say, like, we will not let our own children have these devices. So
Right.
they know what it was programmed to do.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
understand, talk about MK Ultra. I mean, this is MK Ultra at its finest, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
And they know. And so like their kids aren't allowed to have those things.
Right.
There's a recent, the shooting in the ICU nurse, and that whole shooting that took place by ICE agents. And I was watching this thing, and every single video on his X account was replaying that over and like all the
Mhm.
different feeds, but it's over and over.
Right.
You start seeing the same thing over and over again. It is MK Ultra. They are training your brain. They're programming
Mhm.
your brain. They're
Operation
brainwashing
Mockingbird.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
Trying to
crazy.
convince you. Mhm.
It's, and you just, it's crazy. It really, but you have to understand that that's what they're doing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because they can make you believe something that's completely false. And that's how they've led to this world thus far.
Mhm.
Like everything they're showing us is a lie.
Right.
Yes.
It's all
It's
just
all
instill
lie.
fear. Smoke and
Yeah.
mirrors, right?
Yeah. And
Smoke and
symbolism.
mirrors.
Yep.
I
And
agree.
Hollywood, like Prince saying that and doing that, every single movie that they put out is telling you a story. It's giving you a narrative of what is going to happen.
Okay, and
Just like,
I'm going to say Charlie Kirk. Anybody?
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
nothing they've told us is true about that.
Nope,
Nothing.
not a thing.
Right.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
And
No.
I don't know. We can go down that rabbit hole. Is he
Oh.
alive? Is he dead?
Yeah.
Who was Charlie Kirk? Actually,
Right.
we don't know. Who is Erica?
Right.
We don't know.
Right.
And
Right.
we know what we do know is that what they're telling us who they are is not. So we can
Right.
start with that.
Yep.
So nothing they say is true.
Right. There was a man whose pants were around his ankles and he was yelling, I did it. And nobody sees anything wrong with this, you guys.
okay.
I'm like, are you
And
kidding me?
wait, and that same guy was at 9/11, and he
Right.
also survived. What was the one of the school shootings or something like that?
Oh, yeah, that's
Was
right.
he Sandy Hook? He was Sandy Hook, wasn't he?
Yes,
Sandy Hook, yeah.
Sandy Hook.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I mean,
He
I
seems
didn't
to be
realize
in all
that.
the wrong places at all the right
Right.
times.
He's at a college campus. Why? First off, why?
and
I
what
don't
about this too? You talk about like with programming. The
Mhm.
big
It's all
smoking gun for me. If you ever notice a video that contains violence on social media, don't you
Mhm.
always notice you'll see a warning before you play it?
right.
It'll be blurred out and it'll say this has graphic image. I didn't see that on not one Charlie Kirk video of that.
Oh, that's
It's like
true, huh?
Yeah.
They wanted you to see that. And from
Correct.
every
Because they were
angle,
trying to
like,
convince me
mhm,
that wasn't going to work.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
whole
So,
Crime scene.
the bullet there still and all that, and
Yeah.
the 30-06, and the guy being a great shot from, I don't know, however far away, and he put the gun together and took it apart. What the hell, for real?
yeah.
And who secured the crime scene? And why
Yes.
did they
Take
have to
the,
resurface the entire area? And
yes.
And-
Okay,
HIPAA,
no.
you can't release anything privately about
Correct.
someone. So all of a sudden they're, oh yeah, well, this is what happened. Like, where's he buried? What? I don't know.
That whole memorial thing was kind of like
Oh my God.
the
Oh,
sparklers and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Satan's
That
Did
work.
you
would not
guys-
be me. No.
Did you
that
guys
would
hear
not-
the latest? Was it
No.
yesterday? Candace, this whole Candace Owen thing again. You take everything, but she leaked a video that apparently a lot of the employees at Turning Point are starting to like
saw that.
turn on Erica, like they're
Mhm,
leaking stuff
yep.
from like the board meetings and all that. And someone
Yes.
leaked an audio of her, like I think like a couple of weeks after his assassination, like
Yep.
so bubbly of how much they made over
know.
like $200,000 since his death or something like that, with some
Yeah, something ridiculous. Yeah,
something
I saw that.
stupid like that.
Careful of Candace Owens, though.
But of
okay?
course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they do this. They have like paid opposition. So
Mhm.
she's trying to be.
Yeah. You got to take what you can verify, like what I can verify, like on the flight things. You could verify some of that, maybe the bullet, maybe the trajectory. So I start with that. But the guy with the pants on the ground yelling,
That's
I did it.
crazy.
Come on, people.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, what is that? You're
So
trying
this is
to
what I
sell
call this pulling the weeds to find the truth. And so-
right. Yeah. Yeah. True.
But
Because-
who do we trust? You know, it's like 'cause
Nobody.
I think of that. I think Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones. Like when you get to a certain level, you've been compromised.
They're all compromised.
They're all compromised. You know
And
what I
I
mean?
worry if you do speak the truth, they're just going to come kill you anyways, right? I mean,
Yeah.
in some
Well, they
you're
will.
going to have some kind of accident somehow. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Did you
Yeah.
guys ever see the taped recording of Michael Jackson? I think a night or two before he was killed.
Okay.
And he's talking to someone on the phone, and he's telling him, he's like, they're going to come for me, and they're gonna set me up. They're gonna plant something. They're gonna do whatever. And they were like, who? The government? And he goes, it's bigger than the government.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's
Yeah.
not the government. It is bigger than the government.
Wow. I
Right.
haven't seen that.
So, did you see that?
No, I hadn't.
Oh, I'll find
Yeah.
it. But he's
I'm going to have to watch.
like, they're coming for me, because he was finally speaking up. I mean, anytime you speak up, they kill you. But
Right.
he's like, it's
or
not,
they arrest you or kill you, right?
yeah, it's not the government. It's Satan, right?
Yeah.
And Prince is right. The prize is your soul. God is
Mhm.
battling for your soul. Satan's battling for your soul. God gives us free will. You have to pick and choose, but
Mhm. I agree.
ultimately the prize is your soul. And don't be scared of someone who can take your life. Be scared of someone who can take your soul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Protect that, guard that, trust no one, and trust no one but God. And
True.
pray, because demons and Satan, they run from prayer. They run
Mhm.
from people who are strong in their faith. Light
Yeah.
will
Right.
always outshine the dark.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's valid.
Amen.
So how do we keep ourselves safe, Frank and Sarah, and prepared for this next wave? What do we do? Work out, because I know Frank's a big fan of working out, right? I got some muscles here. I'm just kidding. I don't. But no. What else can we do, Sarah? Is there anything we can take? Anything anything you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, get on your antioxidants. Vitamin D, super important. If you live in a place where you guys have your fake snow, make sure that you have a lot of vitamin D in your system. I like NAC or glutathione, vitamin C, zinc,
Okay,
quercetin,
that we take this. Mhm.
magnesium, and then have a stockpile of ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, have some steroids, have some antibiotics. But you got to eat clean too, right? You
Yes.
got to, you got to make sure you're not doing, I mean, get away from the fast food. That's not even real meat, guys.
Right.
But that's another.
We don't even have fast food where I live, so it's easy.
Oh, where are you? Are you?
Well, our community doesn't allow fast food restaurants. Like, I don't know why, but they just don't. You can get it, but you have to drive like a half hour away, so nobody's going to do that. So you better be learning how to cook for yourself, people. Yeah. So it is
Yeah.
like
That's
that.
great.
No seed oils, processed foods.
Right.
You know, eat clean. Because that's ultimately how you're, and don't let the fear control you, right? Live your life. We're all going to die. That's a promise.
Yeah.
That's the only promise. Death and salvation, if you believe. And so, you know, if you let fear overcome everything, they already won. They've already won. Got your soul.
No, we don't let them take our soul. We're not letting them do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I've always heard this big battle of diets. So we got carnivore that's super popular now. We've all heard of the vegetarian, the vegan, the paleo. I'll start with Frank and then go on to Sarah. What's your thoughts on all these different diets? And some of them are fads, obviously.
Yeah. I always tell people, look at the word diet. The word die is in it. Like you can't sustain on a diet. You can sustain a lifestyle change, right? So it's like with when I coach people, I try to pull from everything because everyone's an individual. So what works for me is not going to work to a T for you, Tim, and not for Sarah. Like it's just the way it is. Like we're all different, right? With what our body needs, how we assimilate things. So I think it's a matter of pulling from them. You can't. I always remember when I was a raw in late 2000. I became a raw vegan, and I lived that way for about 4.5 years. And I remember, like, towards the end of it, I felt so sick, so weak, so lethargic, so just like I felt like. I remember I used to explain to people if I tried to make a tight fist, I couldn't really, like, I felt like just my joints were just like Gumby in a sense. And I had a mentor at the times, Dr. Santee, and he was just kept pushing the raw milk and like try some raw meat, like, and I finally broke one night and I had a glass of raw milk and I made some steak tartare, and I could not believe how much energy, like the surge I had in that moment. So what I learned through that is, like, we get married to these titles, and when we get married to these titles, we do ourselves a major disservice because your body's always changing. There are foods that I'm eating now that maybe 8 years ago I didn't digest so well. Like things change, right? With our gut microbiome, our hormones, the gut lining, like there's so many factors. And so I don't believe in diets. I believe in lifestyles. So you pull from everything and you find what works. That's the work I do with clients, is to help piece it together for what works for you. And it's a slow process. You can't do it overnight because you have to make sense of things. You have to be aware of, okay, I ate this. How does this feel? Like I have them keep we used the My Fitness Pal app, and I track everything they're eating every day, and I'll check in with them. How did you feel after that meal? Like, what did you experience? Gas, bloating, mental fog, lethargy. And we start connecting the dots that way. And that's how you start figuring out, okay, like, this is my groove now. I can eat this way. I can eat this amount. Like I can eat at this time. Like you start learning your body more. So it's a lot bigger than just these diets, right? Like no one can withstand a lifelong diet. And like what Sarah said before, the supplements, I always joke with people, if your gut is not in check when you're taking all these supplements, all you're doing is producing expensive urine because you're not absorbing a lot of it.
That's correct.
That's true.
So
it's a shame because every topic, look at the comments, like whenever we do lives or whenever we discuss things, it's so rare that people ask, what should my lifestyle look like? Everybody wants to know what they can take. And that's like a goal of mine. How do we flip the switch in society's mind of like asking the question, how can I live? And then what can I take to complement that? Because if you look at the word supplement, it's in addition to, right?
That is smart.
But we're so fixated on what can I take? What can I take? And you're missing the mark when you think like that.
We've been programmed, people. We're trying to get unprogrammed here.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Hence our podcast. That's
everybody should be watching this podcast. Everybody should be watching this.
Yeah. So Sarah,
I think it should outdo Candace by a long ways.
What's your thoughts, Sarah, on these latest fad diets or any of these fad diets, so to speak?
Yeah, for me, it's pretty simple. It's like, don't buy something that comes in a box, right? Don't buy processed food. Get real meat. Don't do this fake, Beyond Burgers and all that crap. Take away all of these energy drinks and soda. Get with what God put on this earth. We poison everything, though. So
Right.
I stress the importance of making sure that what you eat is not riddled with a bunch of crap. So I, like Frank, I was actually vegetarian for a long time. And then went basically the complete opposite and total carnivore. And I'm trying to get some fruits. And so that's more of what I kind of eat now, with a little bit of wavering here and there. I'm not like some strict keto, whatever, but I'm very careful with the fruits and vegetables that I eat because it's riddled with toxins and poison and glyphosate and stuff. So for me, it's the quality of what I eat, not the quantity of what I eat.
Oh, that's good.
And so I would rather eat, like, I'm a one meal Frank too. I eat one meal a day.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
And I'm not starving my body. It's raw milk. Only A2 raw milk. I won't drink anything else. I make sure that the foods that I'm eating are organic. I make sure that the meat that I'm eating is coming from a local farmer without a bunch of antibiotics and hormones and vaccines. I get my raw eggs from someone down the street. I got
Me too.
cow in my freezer. I've got a pig in my freezer. And that's kind of what I do. So you got to make sure that the quality of what you're eating isn't actually driving disease.
Yeah.
So I'm totally with Frank on eating your food and supplements being the supplement.
Yeah.
But we also live in a world right now, unfortunately, that our food it's not healthy.
No.
Correct. Like, for instance, folic acid, ends with a C, is a substitute for folate acid. So folic is man-made and honestly is not really healthy for a person. And actually, the state of California is forcing all tortilla producers to put folic acid.
Oh, of course, they want to kill us faster
in their tortillas.
Because Gavin cares.
Yes, he loves us. He gives
I
money
love
to
that,
all the
Frank.
fire victims. Come on now. He just helps everybody.
Yeah.
So going back to
lethal
Sarah's
food.
infamous for reading labels, and like some of these ingredients is almost like trying to summon a demon. Goodness. Sarah, tell us a little bit more about the label reading that you do.
Well, it's funny, get away from those seed oils, right? So if something has canola oil, vegetable oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, all those things are super, super inflammatory.
Yeah.
You're right. The folic acid, like if you have the MTHFR mutation, which is at least 40% of the population and probably more like 80% of my patient population, you cannot convert folic acid to folate. Right. Drives up homocysteine. Homocysteine is extremely inflammatory. Homocysteine is going to drive cancer, increase heart attack rates, increase strokes, increase all these things. So it's super important to test for that genetic mutation and then to get on methylated vitamins if you've got to take something.
Yes.
But anything that says fortified or enriched is going to have synthetic vitamins, including folic acid. Do not buy anything that says fortified or enriched. Don't do it. Even if you don't have that genetic mutation, you shouldn't be doing it.
Correct.
But that then really limits. I literally have gone to the grocery store, pushed a shopping cart around and walked out with nothing. Because there was nothing I could buy. And so it's crazy. I'm like,
it's all going to kill me.
It is. I'm like, I'm just going to go home a glass of water because I can't eat anything.
You're like, here's dinner, honey, a case of water.
Yes. And filtered water, please.
Right. In glass bottles, for that matter, not the plastic, please.
Yes.
Couple green beans. Here you go. I'm in. I like it.
Green beans, right? Yeah. So it is.
Right.
You have to read the labels and don't let some sticker on the front like made with avocado oil. Right. Read it because it will say avocado oil and canola oil. Well, I don't want that. So
there's a different name for canola oil, and I'm going to see if I can say it fast enough before I get banned. But rapeseed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So who wants to buy a product called that? So they renamed it to canola oil. Right. There's no such thing as a canola plant.
Yeah. That's crazy.
True.
That's crazy.
So you've got to read, and when in doubt, if it's a word that you can't pronounce,
don't buy it. Pass.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to show you guys really quick. I was at actually Sprouts today, and
Yeah.
I did a quick little video on this. I don't know if you could see this. It's a plant-based meat style. I was like, oh God, I got to see what's in this.
Wow.
So check this out.
Wow.
That
It
can't
should
be
just
good.
say, it should just say beef, right? It should literally just say
Yeah,
beef.
not plant-based. Yeah. Cardboard's in it, okay? But hey, it's just a filler. It's all good.
So water, soy extract, canola, cornstarch, potato starch, yada yada yada, and then it says
Wow.
product of China.
Whoa.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
all these starches you're going to gain weight from by using all these starches.
So I
First
say what
of
to
all.
say, like,
Verified too, I'm sure.
Oh gosh.
oh yeah, there's no non-GMO verified on it, so it's all, you know, it's all GMO'd, everything in that probably, you know.
Wow.
And this is what people need to be aware of, right? You can go to you're spending that premium dollar going to a market like Sprouts
Yeah.
or
for sure.
Whole Foods, like, you know, whatever. Like you must be aware. Like there's majority of the stuff in all these markets is crap. You know, I mean, what's the golden rule? You stick to the outer perimeter, right? Like what the produce is, and like that's it. You know, those middle
Outer
aisles.
perimeter. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And look
the-
up,
Awesome.
look up.
I heard
right?
this saying a
It's
few
at
years
eye
back,
level
like
fat.
if there's a health food section in a grocery store, what makes the rest of the
what's
grocery
everything
store?
else?
I know. It's all
That's
crap.
true. That's a good
Don't
point.
eat it, people.
Yeah. And
No,
don't
Go
don't
to your
ruin
farmer's market.
Yeah, Trader Joe's. I mean, I guess I just called him out, but
Whoops.
I went in there and looked in all of their bread aisles to try to find a loaf of bread that did not say fortified or enriched, and not
Oh,
a
yeah.
single loaf of bread in there
Yeah,
didn't have that label. I mean, that's pretty sad.
that is.
That's and people don't know to look for that. So, you know, it's I don't really eat bread anyways, but my kids do, and I've got to make sure that it's
Yeah.
not fortified and enriched. So
Right.
Right. That's smart. Yeah, you're right.
And-
If that's a health food aisle, what's the rest of this place? I love that.
yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, even if
And
it says organic, I mean, it's not guaranteed to be heirloom. So it could be
Right,
GMO growing in the style of organic.
well,
Right.
they'll say organic canola oil. I mean, so organic, or people say, well, I do gluten free. That does not equal healthy, and people
Right.
Correct.
people don't realize that
Yeah.
Right.
organic and or it will say like meat that says grass fed. Well,
Yeah.
they could literally feed that meat once grass, and now they can label it grass fed. So
On Tuesday, it was last week.
yeah.
Yeah.
One time during the life of this animal. So and
Right.
even eggs, like get pasture raised eggs. You know, they say cage free, but
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Hey,
So-
recently I got the Amish connection on eggs, so I'm doing all right.
That's
Yeah,
a good.
I do too. We have lots of neighbors that have chickens, so there's that.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's a good connection.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think as people get older, like I watch my dad and his friends as they get older, and I help them all, you know, because that's just how I am. Because you have to be loving and kind, right, people? So I help them all out, and I'm like, they're all getting these vaccinations, and they get reminders on their medical things on their phones, like, oh, you need to take another vaccination. I'm like, do not get that vaccination. Do not. So many of them have been so ill from that, you guys, and they're not even better now. It's like the long-term COVID stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, I guess, yeah, it's bad.
There's
It is.
spike protein machinery. They're making spike protein now. It's in their DNA. So they are mass producing a foreign protein that the body will continue to attack. And no wonder we have such an increase in autoimmune and cancer.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. Our government sucks, really, people. But sorry, that's a disclaimer. I just said that. Tim didn't say that. Nobody else said it. Just me.
It's bigger than our government too, right?
Right.
It is
It is
bigger than any of us can possibly imagine. And Prince is right.
Yeah.
Your soul is their prize.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true. That is so true.
I-
So,
I-
what
I
day
said-
is your guys' show on? What day is your guys' show on?
Every Wednesday we have a new episode that comes out at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on
Awesome.
YouTube, Spotify, Rumble, and X.
Everybody better be watching this because this is very informative.
So I'm
Forget all
gonna
those
just
other people.
bring up a quick graphic for what the
Yeah.
podcast logo looks like, and There it is.
Yeah. Okay, people, look
Mhm.
for this because this is good stuff. This will help us all survive this craziness.
Yeah, we definitely went over our hour today. So definitely follow Frank and Sarah on the Overstood Human podcast.
Yes, you guys are
Yeah,
amazing.
a lot of good information.
I
And
know.
yeah,
Love it.
this
I
is
love it. Love it.
direct to the truth. You don't have to pull the weeds to find the truth here with the
Yeah,
Overstood
I
Human
love that.
podcast.
Both very, very knowledgeable people right here. So can people sign up for your service online, Frank, or what?
Yeah, they can. Well, they have to go through my website, and then there's an intake form, and I'm very selective with who I work with, just because I'm at this point in my life, I'm not interested in babysitting anybody or holding, coddling
Right.
somebody. So there's definitely have to see if there's the right fit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of what I teach people does require discipline, and it
Mhm.
requires that person. I try to get very clear with the questions of like, are you really genuinely, truly sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you at your rock
That's
bottom?
my
And
dad's favorite words. I
yeah,
love that.
that's what it takes, And again, it's the
You guys are
dialogue that I have with clients is way beyond what you're eating or what kind of exercise you're doing
right.
too. It's
Right.
this type of dialogue too, because this
Yeah.
is how you can't live in this matrix and let it have a complete hold on you and be really fit over pharma, because it is an agenda.
Yeah.
And as Sarah said, it's bigger than the government.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
I always
agree.
say if we know their names and they're on television in a suit and tie, they're powerless.
Right.
Right.
The people with power are not on TV, and we do not know their
Yep.
name.
No,
Right.
they are
And
controlling the government, right? They
Correct.
are
correct,
so high up that
correct.
they are. Our government are just
Puppets.
for-
Everybody's just
for
yeah.
who-
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
just all for show.
And it's
Right.
like the Wizard of Oz, right? I mean, look at that. It's all in the
Mhm.
programming, right? I mean, there you
Yeah.
go.
It is.
So
So
Yeah.
true.
yeah,
Even if you know it's a lie, you're going to believe it eventually if you hear it enough, right?
So
That's the
please
sad
ask,
part.
what is the safest fruit?
the
Safest
it
fruit.
is what I mean. You have to define safest, like
Right.
I mean, on paper there could be the safest fruit, but it may not be the safest for that individual for them
Right.
to
'Cause their
eat,
body's
right? So
different.
it depends, right? I mean, that's a general question for me. I don't know about, what do you think, Sarah?
I'm all about the berries and organic, right? So
Mhm.
lower glycemic index, melons, bananas, grapes, often very much genetically modified, and super high glycemic index. So if I'm going to ask a patient to incorporate fruit into their diet, it's usually going to be blueberries, strawberries. Strawberries are especially easy to absorb glyphosate, so you've got to make sure that it's not sprayed. But it's the berries that I pick over anything else.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree
I'm
with that for sure.
a
But
fan
yeah,
of those.
yeah,
But Frank said something earlier about the word diet, and
Yeah.
what may
Yeah.
work for some people might not work for all. So like if I happen to be allergic for a fruit and we said, hey, try this fruit. No, don't do that. Again, this is not medical advice. This is just for information only.
Yeah.
right.
The
And
word
on that,
diet's very psychological, right, you guys? That's psychological. If you tell yourself you're on a diet, you're going to want to eat everything that's not nailed down.
Of course.
That's
Mhm.
what I think.
so yeah,
I
so we want to find the things that are the mostly organic, and I put it in those words too, because like once a rubber sole hits the soil, it's no longer organic by true definition.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, you want to find things that are not hosed down with all these chemicals, including the chemical fertilizers.
Yeah.
And yeah, try to eat more natural as possible. Make sure there's seeds in them too. Don't do the
Yeah.
seedless stuff.
Yeah. So true.
Absolutely.
So on that note, we're going to have to wrap it up because we definitely went over our hour. So ladies and gentlemen, definitely tune into the Overstood Human podcast on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And definitely catch more of what Frank and Sarah are sharing, and catch up on some of the past episodes. Really fantastic stuff from what I've seen, and I hope you all tune into that as well. And folks, go ahead and join in on our show. We're going to be doing something a little different with the Patriots 3. So we're going to be doing something on Tuesday, and it might just be me because I hadn't talked to Firecracker yet. But we are also going to be around the same time on Thursdays as well. So go ahead and join on the Patriots 3 podcast as well. And we will see you next week. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, ciao for now.